Alright, Patriots, what we're going to do today is we are going to look at two polygons and determine if they are congruent. And then we're going to look at, I'm going to tell you what a congruent statement is. And then when we meet each other after fall break, we're actually going to use those definitions. So make sure that you have out your colors. I'm using 4 colors. You may want 8 because we're going to look at sides and angles. Now, how do I know if polygons are congruent? Well, polygons are congruent if they are exactly the same. That means all the sides of one polygon are going to be congruent to all those sides on another polygon. All the angles of the left one are going to be congruent to the angles on the right one. Alrighty? So let's see. Are these two polygons as marked congruent? Well, we can see AB is congruent to WX. They both have one tick mark. I can see the right side, BD, is congruent to the right side, XY. Now, it doesn't have to be right to right. They just have to be marked congruent. DC, 3 tick marks. YZ, 3 tick marks. So they are congruent. CA is congruent to ZW. All the sides are marked congruent. So far we're halfway there to determine are these polygons congruent. All the sides are marked congruent. What's the next part? C, are the angles marked congruent? Now, if the angles are congruent in the same order as well, these polygons are congruent. So A is congruent to W. They both have one tick mark. B is congruent to X. They both have 2 tick marks. D is congruent to Y, and C is congruent to Z. So when all the sides are congruent to all the sides, and all the angles are congruent to all the angles, and they line up, then these polygons are congruent. These polygons are exactly the same. Left is the same as right. Now, what are we going to do with that information? Or I can tell you this, we're going to make a congruent statement, and we will deal with this more when we come back from fall break. A congruent statement is a statement that says two polygons are congruent, even if the polygons aren't marked. If you see this statement, here is my congruent statement, these polygons are the same in this order. What I mean by in this order is first letter matches up with first letter. So we know angle A is congruent to angle W because they're both first. Angle B is congruent with angle X because both of those letters are second. Angle D is congruent to angle Y because they're both third, and C is congruent to Z. And if we wanted to do sides, the way my sides are congruent is yellow to green. AB is congruent to yellow to green, WX. B to D is congruent to X to Y. Blue to purple, purple to yellow, purple to yellow. So these guys are congruent. They are exactly the same. So make sure we get those color-coded and into our notes. So please write down any questions you may have because we're not going to meet again until after fall break, and we will start with this and might have a little refresher, might not. So please come in with any questions that you have. You've got space on the back to write these down, and we will see you after fall break, Patriots. Have a good one. We'll see you when we see you.